Hey, what's up? How y'all doing? I am back with story time part 3. Where did we leave off on? Where did we leave off on? I think we left off on me graduating from cosmetology school and getting my high school diploma, and that Friday and moving to Atlanta that Saturday. But before I get into the story, y'all already know what to do. I need you to go subscribe. I need you to like, comment, share, and hit that bell button so you'll be notified when I drop another video. Let's go. So this is 2018. So while I was in school, like I told you, the person that I had met, one of my supporters I had met, he ended up visiting, we ended up linking up, and we saved each other's number and we kept in contact. So they came with an opportunity for me. They knew somebody that was doing this TV show. And they was doing 21 days straight where they was trying to see if they could take, I think it was five or was it 5 or 6? I think 5 gay men, and see if they could go straight within the 21 days. You know how they say 21 days, if you start a habit and you complete it for 21 days, that it'll become a new habit. So it was a show, it was a theory they were trying to prove to see what was what. So he asked me if I wanted to be a part of it. So of course, me knowing that I wanted to be an actor and all that, producer, filmmaker, all that stuff, I said yes, this is a great opportunity. So so I said yes. So by the time he was like, you could come down here, you could move with me, don't worry about bills, you could just focus on your business. My bills already my bills, I work or whatever, so you don't have to worry about bills. Just come here, focus on your business, and we gonna be so successful, So I'm like, I'm pumped up. This person amped me up. I'm just so pumped up and ready. You know, I'm fresh. I'm going somewhere that I don't have no family. Well, I had family up there, but I didn't think about it at the time. But no, I don't think I did at that time. So I went up there. So that Saturday came and I ended up going up there. So when I went up there, I was also going up there to film. We did like a pilot. So I was going up there to film, and they had this person that was making the film had a celebrity friend. I ain't gonna give out no names, but this person had a celebrity friend. They were one of the cast of Love and Hip Hop. So if you know me, and you was following me around that time, then you already know who it is. But yeah, so went up there, met them, end up clicking. We end up doing the freaking pilot for the show, and then when we were having dinner or whatever, this person that's on the cast of Love and Hip Hop was like, I'm doing the hair show come September or August. I don't know. I know it's one in February and one later down the year. So that was coming up, because I went to the one in February with my school people. So I was like, oh, I would love to do that. They was like, oh, if you do it, we could split it in half and half. We could break it down the middle and share the booth together. Because they had clothes and accessories and all that stuff. And I had hair. Like I told you, we were selling the hair then. So I'm like, ooh, that'll be good. By this time, I'm making wigs. I wasn't doing hair fully yet, but I was up and good in making wigs and coloring and all that stuff. So when I went up there, I was going to visit, came back home. So by the time I get ready to graduate to move up there, one of my cousins, and I'm so grateful for him, and I owe him to this day. Because he invested in us, me and his sister. He invested into our business. He gave us $4,500 to get product and to split the booth. So I am so grateful for my cousin, and I am. So if you ever watch this, just know I am gonna pay you back. I apologize it's taking so long, but your boy been going through the ringer. But cousin, I promise I'm gonna pay you back. But yeah, So all that happened, and then I ended up moving up there. Then my cousin, she ended up coming. She ended up getting her flight. She came up there, stayed the weekend with us or whatever. So everything was going good. And I started noticing things about the person a little bit, like, because we ended up getting into an argument, but to me it wasn't that serious. But I see that this person takes it to an extra level when they argue. So I'm just like, with me, I tend to back up, because when I start seeing you say certain stuff or move in a certain way, I just sit back and I start observing. So everything go good. We did the hair show, So the business was not doing really good at all. And I had hair, so I was selling, as I'm selling the hair and, you know, making the wigs and stuff. And some people was purchasing. It was very challenging. And like I said, I was new to being a business owner. I was new to a lot of stuff, and I didn't know a lot of stuff. But now, if I knew half the stuff I knew now, it would have made a big difference. And I know that we have to go through things to get to where we are. But I'm grateful for every experience. I wouldn't change nothing for the world, even though some of the things was like really, really, really hard to deal with. So anyways, business wasn't doing so good. So every time somebody would order, I would make the wig, then have to ship it, or, you know, and the money was just not, it wasn't coming in like it was supposed to do. So put a long story short, the money, I didn't get him his investment for helping. I didn't profit anything myself as well out of all of that. So that's why I say everything happened for a reason, but I'm just so grateful that he believed in us enough to do that. Even though it did not go the way I expected. It didn't go probably the way that none of us expected. But it is what it is. I'm going to pay him back as soon as I get it. Also, all right, so this, as I stay, this is where, and mind you, around this time I didn't have a car. I didn't know nobody, so I was like stuck to be at this house. So when me and this person was like bickering, they would leave and be gone all day. It was just a lot of weird stuff going on. You know how people act, or they'll walk in the house and don't speak to you, and it's just like you moved in with them like you were in their house, and it's just like they're acting all shady with you. And then when y'all do have a talk, they be like, oh, it's just gonna be days where I don't feel like being bothered, and it has nothing to do with you. It's just my mind be everywhere because I gotta think about how I'm gonna pay these bills and da-da-da-da-da-da. And then it's just like, huh? So I'm just like, oh, okay, I understand. So I end up doing, I end up saying screw it. Cause after like that funny stuff, I just don't like being around people like that. So after all that stuff, I'm just like, you know what? When I get enough money, I'm gonna just see how I can get me a car. So what I did was I started Lyft, and I rented a car from Lyft. So that's how I was able to move around and do what I need to do and isolate myself. So when I started Lyft, I was working, they were doing Lyft too. And that's how we was like, we started splitting the bills in half. Well, splitting the rent in half and the light bill. Well, we split the rent in half once I started grinding or whatever. But it was just like, this person was just a Debbie Downer, like, because I'm like, I got me some it was like months before I was able to even start doing that. So once I got it, like I said before in the last videos, once I start something, I go all in. So baby, I was out there for 12 hours straight till the Lyft app kicked me off. I was out there 12 hours straight until the Lyft app kicked me off. You hear me? Because I'm just like, I need some coins. So, and I'm just like, okay, I gotta pay this and do that, and I need my own car. So mind you, when you rent a car from Lyft, you have to first couple of days, you have to make their money first. So it's like you have to, and I think I was paying like two something a week. So I had to make their money first. So you know I was going to be out there. Those first 2 days, I'm like, boom, putting the pedal to the metal. But, and also you got to understand, when you're doing that, none of that money is coming to you. So you got to already have money for gas at the beginning of the week. You got to already have money for gas at the beginning of the week before you can put in the work to give them their money. Because if you didn't make their money, what they would do is snatch the money out your account, which I had no money for them to snatch out the account when I first started. So I was out there getting it how I lived. I was busting my butt. I kid you not, I was busting my butt. So that was going good. I was on my end. By this time, we seen each other, but we didn't see each other that much. But when we came home, we'll talk and da-da-da. But it was just, I felt it was just a drift. After a few arguments and a few funny acting things, it was just like, yeah. Then I was just trying to get my own place by then. So I stopped hanging around them. And by this time, they became the person from the cast of Love and Hip Hop. They became their assistant. So we was always at this person's house, hanging out with this person, going on different ventures, being in a room with other people. So we're touching shoulders with all these people, and I'm so grateful, and I love that. I love that moment that I shared. And me and the cast, the person that was on Love and Hip Hop, we still see, like, we'll see each other in the social media streets, and they'll be like, hey, I love you, and I'll be like, I love you too. But it was just, I would have continued to be around these people, but these are the people that this person introduced me to. So I was just like, yeah, I'm just gonna be done with it once and for all. Then later on down the line, I found out this person was just, well, let me back that up. I back up. So I end up getting enough money to move out. And I think I moved out and I moved to this cricket apartment complex, and I wasn't even there a week. But I ended up moving to this cricket apartment complex because I became friends with the property manager, and we were friends, hanging out, whatever. And they was doing drums, and I'm just like, what? So yeah, but she ended up, and that's how I know that a lot of properties, they do stuff on purpose. But yeah, this person, so I paid my deposit, I got my keys, I moved some of my stuff in. So it was just like, and I stayed there, and I was working, so I wasn't fully in because I didn't have no furniture. I don't think I even had did I have an air mattress? I don't even know if I had an air mattress. But anyways, I ended up leaving there again. Then I ended up, after I left there, I think I ended up, when I left there, I think I found out that my cousin lived on the other side of Georgia. So I ended up moving all the way on the other side of Georgia with her, and it was too far for me. I'm gonna leave it at that. It was way too far, and it was a lot. So I ended up leaving there, and then me and him ended up talking again. Then I ended up moving back to his house. So, and then by this time, I think he had 2 other people living there, and the other people was moving out, was in the other room. So I ended up, and somebody else ended up moving out. So the other person was in the room. So I went downstairs in the den, which had a den, and I made my salon area or whatever. So, okay. So things just was like, it was just, the energy was so bad. The energy was so bad. So I had a client that came over to get a wig done or whatever. And they came in, and they was like spiritual. So they just like, I didn't know this until after they left. But anyways, they came in, and you know, when people come in people's house, you lock the door, or whatever. So when they came in, I guess when my friend went out to the car to grab something. She came back in and she locked the screen door and she locked the door. So as we doing down there, all I hear is boom, 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 boom. I'm like, what the heck? I was like, you locked the door? She was like, yeah. I'm like, oh Lord, here we go. So I went in there and I unlocked the door. It's like, who locked the fuck? I'm like, oh my bad. She must have locked it when she came back in. And then, so this person was like livid. So I was like, this my friend and her sister, and y'all, this my friend such and such, and they was like, hey, and he was like, hey, and walked upstairs. So I'm like, oh, that was rude. So after they left, my friend called me. She was like, why do we have this in this house? Why do we have that in the house? And my sister said she was like, something not right. Something ain't right. She was like, that energy is off. She was like, it's like darkness in there. It's like darkness in there, which I could understand where she was coming from. And then she was just like, it's just like the pictures on the wall. It was just like the Sean over here and why picture, like, it was just a lot they were saying. So me, like, no, I ain't. I'm like, no, this person believe in God. This person's in the Bible. This person prophesied. This person, and then they was just like, something ain't right. Then I started peeping out and I started thinking about it. And they was like, you need to go get some spiritual help because I think this person got something on you. And I'm like, no. I'm like, this person believe in God, da 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 da. So I'm like, they was like, well, if you want to, just let me know and I'll take you to the person, whatever. And you know me, I don't believe in tarot readers and all that, palm readers and all that stuff. So it was never like a thing for me. But they did. Not the sister, but my friend did. And she was just like, it's just like getting some spiritual guidance. So I'm just like, okay. But I said, I don't know, I'll think about it. So what happened after that? They was like, I don't know. Oh, I used to make my food prep. I used to make my food prep and I used to take it to work with me when I worked out on the road doing Lyft and Uber. And I used to take it out and then like, I don't know, for some reason when I used to take my food out, I didn't like the way that it was tasting. I'm like, something's not right. And then I was eating it and I could not even swallow it no more. I couldn't do nothing. I was just like, this ain't right. I'm about to barf. Like something ain't right. And my friend was on the phone and she was like, what's wrong? She was like, yeah. She was like, I'm telling you, you need to. She was like, I don't put it past nobody. So you never know people. So I'm just like, So by this time, I'm just like, yeah. So by this time, I'm freaked out and I don't really know. I'm like, I'm scared. I'm like, I don't know. But I'm like, I got to get away from here. Something just was saying, leave now, leave now, leave now. So I just felt like at that moment, and this time, this when I really, really got into being with God. I used to pray. I was like heavy into God this time. I wasn't on social media. I wasn't on none of that. I was just praying. I was into God. And I felt like God was not letting anything happen to me. That's why I couldn't That's why I couldn't swallow that food, whatever. I don't know what happened. I'm not saying what somebody did, but I just know something wasn't right. So I said I had to leave. I'm like, I gotta leave. I gotta get out of here. So once I ended up leaving, they were just like, you sure you're gonna be okay out there? Where you gonna go? Da da da. So I was trying to keep them out of my business. I'm like, no, I'm gonna be okay. I got somewhere to go. Da da da. Even though I did have nowhere to go, but I had to get out of there. So I ended up packing up all my stuff in the car. I left and I took all my stuff to my friend mom's house. She had a shed in her backyard and I put it in there, and I lived out my car for a month or so. So I just had to get up out of there. I was living out my car for like a month or so. So then I end up breaking down and I was like, okay, what a lady you telling me? We end up going to see her. She was like, okay, let's pray. Da 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 da. We prayed. Da da da. Then she was just like, you just been going through so much. She was like, and you have a dark person that's around you. They're trying to steal your finances. They're trying to steal your love life. They love you in a way that you don't love them. So they don't want you to be happy. So she was like, they put a hex on you. They put a hex on your finances, on your love life, and on your relationships. So she was like, you need a cleansing, da 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 da. So I'm just like, you know me. So at that time I was just going through so much. So I'm just crying, and I'm just like, and she was like, this person is not a good person. She was like, this is not the first time that this person done did this to somebody. She was like, but you have to be cleansed, and if they try to do it again, whatever they try to do, it will protect you and it will go back on them. She was like, after this cleanse this person, but she ended up robbing me because I think she was money hungry. But they say she's very accurate because it's some things she told my friend that actually came to pass. But when it came to the money, I felt like she got a little money hungry for the cleanse, cause yeah. But so from that moment on, I'm just like, okay. After that, I was just like, that's not my cup of tea. I'm trusting in God. I'm gonna believe in God. I'm gonna do that. And so after I did that, she was like, cut off all ties with this person. You got to cut off everything. You cannot go back around this person because this person's gonna know that you know. And so I just cut all ties with this person. I don't care who we was connected to together. And then she was like, this person's been going up against you, talking about you behind your back, stopping every business venture that you've been trying to do. And of course, this person was trying to connect me with certain people, but nothing was going through. I'm talking about nothing was going through. This person was just like, I felt like this person was going behind my back, like sabotaging me, like telling people lies about me and stuff like that. So that was that. And I was living in my car. And then after a month or so, I ended up getting approved for a house, to rent out a house, which by this time I skipped all that part. By this time I had got a new car. And then I ended up getting approved to rent out a house. So me and my friend moved in the house together, which was an hour and 30 minutes away from Atlanta. We ended up moving in the house together, and it was just crazy because even though I was like, okay, I got a house, I got a car, let's grind. Even though it was an hour and 30 minutes away, my mind wouldn't let me, thinking about the bills and the stuff and all that stuff, my mind wouldn't let me, because at this time, my friend didn't have any income coming in. So my mind wouldn't let me rest on the fact that, okay, we got to pay these, we got to pay this bills, we got to pay this, we got to pay that. So I wouldn't even stay at the house. I would be gone a whole week. I was still living out of my car, even though I had a house that I was paying $1,200. That was $1,200 a month. I was still living out of my car, working sun up to sundown. And I would go home every Sunday. I would go home every Saturday night and go back out and rest Sunday, take a shower, do what I had to do, and get up and go back out. I would leave out that Monday. So I would come home, rest that Sunday, leave out that Monday, and do it all again. And as I was living out the car, I had a gym membership. So I had a gym membership. Mind you, this is around winter time. So I had a gym membership. So I would go to the gym, work out, take showers. That's when I was fit. Like my body was I was like, that was the healthiest I ever been in my life. I was at the gym every single day. Every single day I was waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning, going to the gym. I was out the gym by 6 o'clock, starting work by 6:30 every single day. And it was so cold some nights, and I was just like sleeping in the car takes a toll on your body. So it was times where I would go into the gym and I would sleep in their massage room where their massage chairs was, because it was like nobody in there. So I would go in there and sleep in there, and then they ended up finding out. So I got kicked out of that gym, and it was told that I couldn't come back. And what they did was they ended up calling all the other gyms or whatever. And then, because when I go to certain gyms, I was wondering like, okay, they said I can't come back here, so I go to another gym. And I was wondering why they were saying like, hey, they were just looking at me funny. Then they were like tripping out about the times I would go take. They were like, hey, we see that you taking a long time in the showers. You can't do that because other people have to use the shower. I'm like, okay, cool. So they started taxing my card Like if I stayed in the shower longer than 15 minutes, they would add it to my bill and charge me like an extra $25. And it was just a lot. But yeah, and then I was like, I'm gonna wrap it up right now, but then I was grinding. I was just grinding. And then I end up getting ready to go. It was one of those Saturdays I was getting off work early. By this time I was doing Uber. I had stopped doing Lyft because Uber was making me more money, and so I was doing kind of both of them because I worked 12. I know it's against the law, but I was working 12 hours with Uber. Then when Uber kicked me off, I'll go on Lyft. So I'm just like grinding. So even then, I was going home one Saturday. I was getting off early. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go home. I gotta go get me some, cause I needed car insurance at this time. So I was getting car insurance at this time. When I got home, I was gonna set up the car insurance. So I was driving, doing my last ride of the night. And I kid you not, when I dropped this person off, I was driving, and you know how the sewers out the road, they shave down the road and they have like the sewers sticking up, the metal things, like what the Ninja Turtles go in. So I was driving out of this neighborhood and they had those. So I was weaving around it, and I don't know what made me just like drive over this one, because I'm like, okay, let me just go slow. And I would drive slow. Next thing you know, all I hear is it was like a boom. And then my car was like, yeah. It was making this sound. It was scrubbing. I bent my frame under the car. I bent the frame. And I wasn't even going that fast. That was the crazy part about it. I bent the frame. So I couldn't even go home that night. I had to drive to my other friend's house that stayed in Duluth. I went to his house and I was there with him and his family for like days. Well, I did have my car because I was still trying to find somebody to fix my car, and I didn't let my car go to the shop immediately. And plus, I was just like, I had to use the insurance money to try to get the car fixed. So I had to end up renting another car from them and send my car to get fixed and pay for that to get fixed. So by this time, rent was due. So long story short, we ended up getting evicted out of the house. I ended up getting my car fixed, and by this time, I ended up moving back to Atlanta, living out of my car, working like a dog. And then I was working like a dog. Then COVID came. So this is 2020. So COVID came and work slowed down. So I was like, okay, work slowed down. It ain't doing like doing. I'm finna go back home and visit my family because work is slow. Everybody's getting sick. They about to go on lockdown. I'm out here in the wilderness. So yeah, I'm finna go home and visit my family for a couple of days. But I didn't even know they was doing lockdown. I was like, all right, I'm gonna go home and visit my family for a couple of days, get some rest, get loved on, and come back and start work again. Maybe things will change. Lord, it was a whole nother story, but things didn't change. So they ended up doing a lockdown. So this is 2020. It was February. When I went back to Florida, it was February 18th, 2020. And I'm gonna leave y'all right there, and y'all stay tuned for the next one. And remember, February 2020 is where we're gonna pick up next. Where we're gonna pick up next. I think that's how you say that. I don't know, but February 2020 is when I move back home to Florida, and then I'll give y'all that. But yeah, that's gonna wrap up this story. Thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure you like, comment, share. Make sure you subscribe and hit that bell button so you'll be notified when I drop another video. Thank y'all for tuning in to Story Time. I'm out.